Many people are under the false assumption that the more popular an influencer is, the more effective that they'll be at promoting their brand. They look at the success of celebrity influencers, for example, and think that the only way to get substantial results from an influencer campaign is by collaborating with an often overpriced mega influencer. However, often the opposite is better. In fact, many brands find that working with nano-influencers can yield far better results at a fraction of the cost, especially if they're targeting a niche audience. That's why in this video, we'll take a look at what nano-influencers are and how they can help your brand make an impact on your target audience. Let's begin. Most influencers can be split into one of four categories: mega influencers, macro influencers, micro influencers, and nano influencers. The distinction is determined by the size of an influencer's audience. Mega influencers are influencers with over 1 million followers. This category is usually made up of celebrities, rising stars, and KOLs, or key opinion leaders. Macro influencers usually have between 100,000 and 1 million followers. Micro-influencers tend to have between 10,000 and 100,000 followers. And nano-influencers have the smallest audience. They usually have between 1,000 and 10,000 followers. Let's take a closer look at who nano-influencers are. In the world of influencer marketing, nano-influencers are a fairly new category. They tend to be regarded as more approachable and relatable, and they usually target smaller communities of people. Because of their reduced audience size, they can dedicate more time and nurturing to their connections, and as a result, often generate much higher engagement levels. This can potentially benefit your brand, provided you pick a nano-influencer that works in the same niche area of the market. What can nano-influencers offer you? As we just mentioned, perhaps one of the biggest benefits of collaborating with nano-influencers is that they tend to have a much higher engagement level. This is because they have more time to respond to followers than, for example, mega or macro influencers, who tend to generate a great deal more interactions relative to the increased size of their audience. And because nano-influencers can react to individual comments and shares, they often develop more meaningful connections with their audience. The same applies to local influencers, a subcategory of nano-influencers. Because they're regarded by their audience as being a member of their existing community, their opinions tend to be perceived as being more valuable and authentic. As a result of this increased engagement, many brands are now realizing that they can often get far better results from collaborating with nano-influencers. Even major global brands like Remington and Gillette have started working with this kind of influencer because their everyday people image is more relatable and appeals more to their target audience, eliciting a more emotional response from them. Now let's take a look at the benefits of collaborating with nano-influencers. Because nano-influencers often develop higher engagement levels, they're also able to nurture a higher level of consumer trust. As they tend to target more niche communities, they often have a higher level of reachability in terms of relevant audiences. High audience reachability helps to ensure that your sponsored posts are not lost in a sea of competing content. This, in turn, leads to a lower cost per impression. Followers often view nano-influencers almost as friends. They're therefore more trusting of their opinions and much easier to influence when it comes to endorsements. Nano-influencers are a great choice for industry-specific brands that target niche audiences. This is because they work on nurturing smaller and more close-knit communities compared to mega-influencers who have a larger, more generic following. Nano-influencers are far less expensive to work with than more notable influencers such as celebrities. Similar to our last point, nano-influencers are often good targets for product seeding campaigns, and, if they're a fan of your products, are sometimes willing to post content in return for free products or discounts. To see how nano-influencers compare to other profiles in the market, Influence City conducted the largest influencer study in the US in 2023. If you want to check it out, click on the link in the description below. So, what's the bottom line? How can nano-influencers boost your profits? Are they worth the investment? Provided that you pick the right nano-influencer, yes. Nano-influencers can boost your profits by increasing your return on investment. As mentioned earlier, nano-influencers are often more accessible in terms of price, which leads to a lower cost of production for your influencer campaigns. As these profiles tend to bring high-converting followers, a well-thought-out campaign is likely to yield high returns. In other words, finding the right nano-influencer can help increase your ROI and increase your brand awareness for a fraction of the price. If you want to learn more about another type of smaller influencers, click on this video to find micro-influencers that will guarantee you results. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like and a comment if you think that smaller influencers like nano or micro-influencers are a better choice for small businesses. Thank you for watching!